Gita, right? And it is said it's a Kali Yuga, right? Where people are only interested in quarreling, right? And they are interested in showing off. But after seeing you, I can feel that, people are still taking interest in bhakti. So really grateful to you all. And I welcome all of you for this sessions. And I can promise you that if you attend all the 14 sessions, 13, 14 sessions, which we are going to take, and if you, give all these tests, then I can tell you that, you can experience the positive changes in your life. 1 minute, I will just make some settings. Okay, so you can communicate with me. Chat is on to the only host. So I'm sharing my screen. Okay, super. Now you can switch off your camera if you want, right? If you want, otherwise you can keep it open, no problem. So most of the time, people think that Bhagavad Gita is a religious book. Bhagavad Gita is to be studied by old people, right? Bhagavad Gita, it was relevant 5,000 years ago. It's not at all relevant today. We feel that many times. But in this study course, we are actually going to see that how Bhagavad Gita is so relevant to us, right? And how it can help us in today's time and situation. It has, just like previous people used to say, that Bhagavad Gita can answer your all the questions. And after attending these 13, 14 sessions, you can experience that, yes, it is giving answers to my all the questions, right? So let's go ahead and study this amazing book, Bhagavad Gita. Before we start, let me ask you some questions. How many of you have Gita at your home? Tell me in the chat box if you have Gita in your home. Right? Participate in answering. Okay, super. If you see, practically all the Indians have Gita at their home. I remember once upon a time, there was a death in some home. It was a Hindu home. And then the Panditji told that read 15th chapter of Gita. Right now, they all started searching in the home, hey, where is Gita, where is Gita, where is Gita? And I think it was a lockdown time. So, they could not go out and purchase the Bhagavad Gita. Right? Then the neighbor was apparently a Muslim fellow. He asked, hey, what are you searching? Right now it's time to do his last rites. So he told that Panditji wants hard copy of Gita and we are searching for that. My brother has gone to some puja shop, puja bhandar, to find out the Gita. Right? So he told, hey, wait, I have one Gita, let me check. And he got that Gita. So practically everyone, even if you see Hindu, Muslims and Christians, everyone has Gita, right? Of course, we may not have read that, and that's why we are having this course, right? What is this? Okay, don't worry, Prabhakarji. You will get everything, right? So please use chat box only for the questions and answers, and only in case of an emergency, like if you cannot hear my voice, then you can ping me here. Let's go ahead. Now tell me the simplest question, because I'm thinking we'll be starting from the scratch. So even if you don't know anything about Gita, you can become the expert of Gita in the 14 days, right? So even a layman can understand this course. And that's why I'm thinking that some of you may be a layman in Bhagavad Gita. So tell me, who told and who heard the Gita? Who told and who heard the Gita? Okay, so Rupesh is telling, unable to hear. Rupesh, please check your mic. Right? I think everyone is able to hear. Okay, superb. There was one boy, he told, my nani told me. Okay, superb. Amazing. So you know that. Now let's go ahead and take one more question. Okay, those who are telling that Krishna told Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, tell me, why did Krishna speak the Gita? What was the reason for this Gita? Let's see how many of you know that. Yeah, Krishna told to Arjuna, that's right. But why did he speak the Gita? Okay, for Dharma, before Mahabharata is going to start, okay, Arjuna was scared, okay, to restore Dharma. There were so many questions in Arjuna's mind, okay, to make him understand his Dharma, okay. He was confused, super. Krishna used Arjuna to tell whole Gita. Amazing answer, Prabhakar, super. So that Arjuna could fight the battle, to teach him. Amazing, amazing answers. Thank you. Super. So we'll study that. Why did Sri Krishna speak the Gita? In the first chapter itself, you'll understand that yes, there was a need to speak the Gita. And of course, the Prabhakar was telling that Krishna made Arjuna a medium. Krishna wanted to give Gita's knowledge to everyone, and he made Arjuna as a medium. Just like in the Marathi, there is a saying, Leki bole sune lage. So whenever a daughter-in-law comes to the home, first time, right, she is a very new girl in the home. So the mother-in-law will not directly tell her, because she may get scared or she may feel bad. So she shouts at her own daughter. So by looking at her daughter-in-law learns. Similarly, Krishna is teaching to Arjuna, and through Arjuna, he wants to tell all of us. There was one person. He used to always ask us, right? Why the hell you need to read this Gita? Anyways, it was a discussion between, Sala and Jija. Right? So basically, there was some relation in between Arjuna and Krishna, because Krishna's sister Subhadra was the wife of Arjuna. So there was some relation. So both are speaking. Why the hell you need to understand that, right? There must be some discussion, homely discussion. Why do you need to read that? But no, Arjuna was just a medium. Okay, so those who spoke that Arjuna was scared of the war. Just before the starting of the war, Arjuna was frightened. But can someone tell me what was the reason for Arjuna to become so confused? Can someone tell me? Let's see how many of you know. Can someone tell me? He was fighting his own blood. Okay, super. Moha, because he had to fight his own, right? Because he was fighting against his guru, yeah. Because all of his enemy was his family members and friends. Super. Okay. Amazing. Confused with karma, moksha, dharma, and adharma. अरे बाप रे, आप सब पढ़ के आए हैं. Amazing. Okay. So now we'll see a small story, right? And we'll understand. Even if you have not seen the Mahabharata, because there are many people who have not seen the Mahabharata, right? They could be like a slate, right? Nothing has written over it. So they don't know anything about this Gita. So I'm thinking that there are many people who don't know anything about Gita. So even if you know, you will enjoy this. So once upon a time, there was a king whose name was Shantanu. Right? He was the king of the Hastinapur, and he was just taking his rounds. He was seeing how everything is happening in his own country. So Hastinapur was a great samrajya that time, and you can still find this Hastinapur, right? Like a today's Delhi, that was the Hastinapur previously. So Shantanu was the king of the Hastinapur, and his father was Kuru. Right? So he became the king after the Kuru, and he was roaming. Right? So once upon a time, while he was on the excursion, he came. So he was on the horse, I think, and then he saw one beautiful girl who was sitting on the banks of Ganga. Right? She was very beautiful. Right? She was very gracious. And he came to her, just like in a normal Bollywood movie, if you see, the same thing happened here also. He fell in love with her. He asked, क्या आप मुझसे शादी करोगी? Will you marry with me? She said, no problem. Because she also knew that he's a king. Right? And not only the normal king of Hastinapur, right? Which was like actually, it was the case that the whole Hastinapur would rule all over the world. Right? As we say, Eka Chhatri Ammal. Right? So king was Eka Chhatri. That means the whole world would pay taxes to Shantanu Maharaj. Kings of the whole world, they would pay taxes to Shantanu Maharaj. So he was the only king all over the earth, real king. All others were sub-kings. So she also knew that he is not a normal person, and if he is asking, then that's great. So he said, let's get married. But she said, there is one condition. He said, what is your condition? I can fulfill all the conditions. Right? What do you want? Tell me. I can fulfill all the conditions. Just ask me whatever you want. I'm the king of the whole world. She said, that's okay. You're the king of the whole world, but my condition is a little unique. He said, ask me. She said, you should not poke me. You should not ask me the question that what are you doing and why are you doing this? Right? And if you ask me these questions, I will go away. He said, that's fine. You seems to be a demigoddess, right? I know that you won't do anything bad. So there is no problem in accepting a condition, right? So I am accepting your condition, right? Just get married. She said, okay. So both of them got married. And what happens after the marriage? A child comes. So first son was born. And Ganga, she took that child and she ran to the river and she threw that child, a newborn baby, into the river. She killed that baby. Are you understanding? She killed that baby. Now Shantanu was so unhappy, of course, but he was so angry on Ganga because, a king wants a son, right? To take care of his, kingdom in the future. So he was so angry on her, but he could not speak a word. So that's why be careful while giving your words. Right? So he had given his word to Ganga that I will not ask you a question, that why are you doing this? So he could not speak because he knew if I ask the question, she will leave me. And he was so much attached to Ganga because this Ganga was not an ordinary lady. She was the incarnation of river Ganga. She was not different from Ganga, river Ganga, right? So she had some curse, and that's why she had come from the heavenly planets to the earthly planet, and she was staying on the banks of the Ganga. Right? And that's how Shantanu approached her. right? Please understand, in the Vedic philosophy, in the Vedic scripture, every object has a personality behind it, right? So when we worship a Ganga, we are not worshipping a normal river. We are worshipping Ganga river. When we are worshipping Yamuna, we are not worshipping a normal object, right? We are worshipping Yamuna Devi. When we are worshipping sun, we are not worshipping a fireball. We are worshipping sun god, Surya Devata, Surya Narayan, right? So similarly, this was a personality, right? Every object has the personality. Okay. So she was staying in Hastinapur. Now, second son was born. As soon as son was born, she took that baby and she ran towards the Ganga river and she drowned that baby and she killed that baby. An infant baby, a newborn baby. Now we are just confused. What should I do? Should I ask her the question? Or should I keep my mouth shut? Right? Now let me tell you, this kind of confusion only comes when you are attached to something. Right? When you are attached to something, this kind of confusion will come. And when you are above the attachment, then you can do your duties. Right? But here he was so much attached to Ganga. He was thinking, if I ask Ganga, Ganga will leave me. Then I won't have any wife to love. Right? I will be all alone. So he did not ask a single question to her. Then third son was born. That son was also killed. They're just thinking, hey, this is Ganga Devi. She's a personification of a compassion. Right? Ganga Devi, Ganga river is a personification of compassion. When you take a bath in the Ganga river, your all sins are vanished. Yeah, but what she was doing here, she was killing the infant babies. Right? And do you know the killing of the infant babies is the most gruesome act? Right? Killing the babies in the womb and killing the baby as soon as the baby is born is the most gruesome act, according to our Shastras. And that's why the abortion is the most heinous crime. So he was confused, and the people of the Hastinapur, they were getting very angry on Shantanu. Why? Because they were thinking this king cannot save his own babies. How he will protect us? Right? Because we know the king, they will take care of their own people. First of all, and then the whole praja will come. You can see this by seeing to the politicians. Just see the politicians. They will fill their own stomach before, and then they will look around. अरे कोई है क्या मदद के लिए? किसको मदद चाहिए क्या? Similarly, people were also thinking about Shantanu that he cannot protect his own son. How he will protect us? Right? Now, when the pressure was increasing on the Shantanu Maharaj, right, he dared to ask question, but he could not because of attachment. He could not ask a single question to her. Then fifth son was born, he was also killed. Sixth son, he was also killed. Seventh son was born, he was also killed. And what Shantanu was doing? He used to just look from the behind what Ganga is doing, why she is killing, right? One day, he gathered some courage, right? And he ran after Ganga. As soon as the eighth son was born, she took that son and she ran to the river. Right? She ran to the river, and behind the Shantanu Maharaj was following, and she was about to kill that son. But Shantanu said, wait, Ganga, wait. What are you doing this, and why are you doing this? Who are you? Are you really Ganga? Or are you some chudel? Are you some ghost or demoness? right? Why are you killing these innocent babies? Ganga said, I told you now, don't ask me the questions, right? Let me do whatever I want. Now you have asked me the questions. Now I must leave you and take care of this baby. But he asked, that's okay, you're going, but tell me, why did you kill my 7 sons? Right? Now tell me in the chat box, how many of you want to hear the reason? And then only I can tell the reason, otherwise we can skip this part and go. Because anyways, it doesn't come in the Gita. Should I tell the reason? Or should I skip? Okay, let me know. How many? Okay, super. Tell the reasons. Okay, ठीक. So she told the reason. Amazing reason she told. So she said, once upon a time, the 8 brothers, they are called as the Ashtavasus. These 8 brothers, they were traveling in the heavens. And in the 8th chapter, we will study that how there is a heaven, how there is a hell, right? And how there is a Vaikunta, the whole different thing, right? So just for say a time being, just understand that there was a heaven. So in the heaven, so these 8 brothers, they were just roaming with their wife and they were having a gala time. That means they were happy, they were just singing and they were just dancing and they were just moving like I think they were on a picnic. So these 8 brothers, when they were passing from the ashram, hermitage of Vasishtha Muni, they saw a beautiful cow. Her name was Nandini, right? And as soon as the ladies, these 8 ladies, right, the wives of the Ashtavasus, they saw this cow. They were charmed by seeing her beauty. And this was not ordinary cow. It was the cow of Vasishtha, and it was a Kamdhenu. The meaning of the Kamadhenu is that these cows doesn't give only the milk. But if you ask them, I want some paneer. Now, generally what happens when you get the milk, then you boil the milk and then you make the curd. Or if you spoil the milk and then you can make the paneer. So there is a whole process. But if you go in front of this cow and if you ask, I want some paneer, so she will give you paneer. Kamadhenu, a wish fulfilling cow that was. So they were attracted by this cow. She was very beautiful. They said, I want that. Everyone said, my dear husband, get that cow. So he said, they all said, these 8 brothers said, no, that cow belonged to Vasishtha. If he gets to know that we have stolen the cow, he may curse us. Right? So we won't do that, anything. We won't steal that cow. They started saying, no, we want that, we want that, we want that. It's like kids, they tell their parents, hame chahiye, hame chahiye, hame abhi chahiye, abhi chahiye. So they all started crying. So husband did not have any other option than to steal the cow. So all the 8 brothers, they actually stole the cow. They got that cow to their own palace, and all the queens of this, the wives of the Ashtavasu, they were very happy. And here the Vasishtha was wondering, hey, where is my cow? Where is my cow? Now, why did Vasishtha require cow? Because Vasishtha performed different yagyas, right? And in a yagya, you need a ghee, butter, clarified butter. And from where you get the butter? From the milk. So that's why he needed the cow. Now, there was no cow. He was panic. And in the meditation, he could see that the Ashtavasus, the 8 devatas, they have stolen the cow. So he pronounced the curse. He said, those who have stolen my cows, they will have to take birth on the earthly planet. Now this curse was heard by Ashtavasus, and they started trembling. Now you may ask, what was the problem? Taking birth on the earthly planet? But please remember, the Swarga is like a big palace, right? Where your all the desires are fulfilled. But the earthly planet, as Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Dukhalayam Ashashrutam, everywhere you will find the dukhas. Right? So earthly planet, according to them, is like a jhopadi. Just imagine you are staying in a big palace, and then your parents tell you, go and stay in that jhopadi. Will you accept that? You will start crying, no mother, I don't want to go. So similarly, these all 8 demigods, they also started crying, no, we don't want to go on an earthly planet because we know what is conditioned there. Right? Very horrible planet, people are very horrible, we don't want to go there. Right? Please, please, please forgive us. Oh, Vasishtha, please forgive us. Vasishtha said, no, you have stolen the cow. Right? You need to suffer. But I can do one thing. I can minimize the period. Right? So you will have to stay at least for 9 months on the earthly planet. Ask Ganga Devi to become your mother. So you will, you will go into her womb, and slowly, she will deliver you, and then she will kill you, so that you can immediately receive your post in the heavenly planet, so that you can immediately come to heavenly planet. But 1 minute, you have one brother, his name is Prabhas, so he actually pulled the cow, so he made troubles to my cow, so he will have to stay on earthly planet for many years. Right? So your 8th brother will have to stay on the earthly planet. Prabhas was his name. So now, okay, you can see in the picture. So Prabhas was handed over by Ganga. She said, I cannot kill him. You asked on the right time. I cannot kill him. Take this son. Take care of this son. This son will become very powerful. So Shantanu Maharaj got this one boy, and he named him as Devavrata, who was none other than Prabhas, one of the Ashtavasus. Right? So all the 7 kids, they were killed by this Ganga, and they again got their own post in the heavenly planet. So they went to heavens, and the one baby left. His name was Devavrata. He was very nicely taken care by Shantanu Maharaj. He was all alone now. And then he was thinking, I will make this boy as a king because he's so powerful. Right? He was so powerful. It is said once upon a time, he made a bridge with the arrows. Amazing, isn't it? So he had many skills. But once upon a time, Shantanu was again on his travels. So he was traveling, and he came across another beautiful girl whose name was Satyavati. Right? The special thing about the Satyavati was she would emit the fragrance of lotus. Right? So Shantanu asked Satyavati, I am all alone. Right? Can you marry with me? I am the king of the whole universe. I mean, whole planet. You get married with me, and I will provide anything to you. She said, you need to ask my father. Right? I cannot take decisions by my own. So he went to her father, whose name was the Dashraj. So he asked, I love your daughter. Please hand over her to me. Dashraj said, I can allow this marriage only if you agrees to my condition. He was thinking, first of all, I did the mistake by agreeing the condition of Ganga. Now again this condition. So my dear friends, please be careful of these conditions. Right? Don't run after free. You can see the whole big billboards, and you read there free, and then star mark, and in the down you can just read conditions apply. But you ignore that and you run after free, and from that the problem starts coming. So be very careful of these conditions, right? So this lady, of course, we heard that she directed Shantanu to father. Then the father said, Dashraj said, okay, I can agree to this, but only there is one condition, and the condition is that your son and Satyavati's sons will become the king. Right? I don't want to see Devavrata as a king. He said, why? Devavrata is so powerful, man. He can become the king. He said, no, I don't want to see Devavrata as a king. I want to see the son of yours and Satyavati. He should become the king. Right? So Devavrata is like a Sotela Putra. Right? Like a stepchild to Satyavati. I don't want to see him as a king. He said, not accepted. This condition not accepted. So he went to his kingdom, but he was very sad because he fell in love with this Satyavati. So he was constantly thinking of Satyavati. Now here Devavrata started thinking, what my father is doing? Why he's so sad? So he asked his father, Father, why are you sad? He said, nothing, I'm happy. He asked, Father, you are sad, please tell me. Nothing, I'm so happy, you just do your duties. But Devavrata could understand that something has happened. So he asked one of the minister was called. Devavrata asked, what happened to my father? Minister said, actually, your father fell in love with one girl. So Devavrata asked, then why he's not getting married with that girl? Because anyways, he's the king of the whole planet. He has everything to provide her. Right? And she can become my mother. I have no problems. Minister said, that's okay. But the father of the girl has one condition, and the condition is that Devavrata should not become the king. He said, that's okay. I don't want to become a king. I want to see my father to be happy. Now tell me, how many of you have seen such a kind of a kid, such a kind of a man? In today's day and age, we see the children's are, just taking money from their parents, just taking everything from their parents, and they are sending their parent to the old age homes. Right? But here is the example of Devavrata. What he is telling, I don't want any kingdom. Right? I can become the servant of Satyavati's sons. I have no problem. Right? What I want to see my father to be happy. If you see today's sons, most of them are, I want to see myself happy. I don't care about my father and mother. Right? In the childhood, they are very attached to their father and mother, but as soon as they grow old, they start hating their father and mother. This is a bitter and harsh reality of today's world. You just observe this. Right? And then he ran to this Dashraj and he said, what do you want? You want that, I should not become the king. I'm taking the vow. Right? This Devavrata is taking the vow in front of all the Devatas, all the demigods. Right? That Devavrata will not become the king, and neither the sons and the daughters of Devavrata can become the king, because Devavrata will always follow the vow of celibacy. I will never get married. And as soon as he spoke this vow, as soon as he took this promise, all the demigods or the devatas, they started shouting, Bhishma, Bhishma, Bhishma. The meaning of the Bhishma is that one who takes the terrible vows. Terrible means very difficult. Now this was very difficult. Now just see, We fight with our brothers and we fight with our sister many times for a piece of a cake, simple cake, right? Or simple things. But here is an example of a Bhishma. He is ready to renounce all the kingdom. Can you imagine this? Right? And that's why all the demigods started saying difficult war, difficult war. And of course, both of them got married, Satyavati and then Shantanu Maharaj. So then what happened? Satyavati gave birth to two kids, Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Right. But as soon as both kids were born, Shantanu died. And as soon as Shantanu died, Chitrangada becomes the king. And Chitrangada was once upon a time, I think he was doing the battle with the Gandharvas, and the Gandharvas killed him. So Chitrangada also became dead. Now Vichitravirya becomes the king. Tell me in the chat box if you are understanding this. आपको इतना एटलीस्ट इतना समझ में आया है क्या? Should we go ahead? Okay, super. Vedansh, amazing. You are understanding, na? Many times it may happen that this is the first class, so I'm new to you. My voice is new to you. My pronunciation will be different for you. So it may become a difficult for you to understand. But don't worry, just stick with me for 2 days and it will become very easy to you. Okay, super. So I hope you are not going so fast. Okay, then Chitrangada became the king, but Chitrangada also died in one of the fight. Now Vichitravirya becomes the king, right? Vichitravirya becomes the king, and then Bhishma thinks, right? Even Satyavati thinks that let this Vichitravirya get married as soon as possible. So what will happen if the Vichitravirya gets married? He will give birth to many sons and many daughters. So what will happen then? His sons can become the king. You know, they were very scared if Vichitravirya dies, because if the Vichitravirya dies, then what will happen to our kingdom? Will become the king. And that's why Bhishma thinks, you know, let him get married to the 3 daughters of Kashiraj. So he went to Kashi and then he kidnapped 3 daughters, Amba, Ambika and Ambalika. So he kidnapped 3 daughters and he got them to Hastinapur. So 2 daughters of the Kashiraj, Ambika and Ambalika, both of them got married with this Vichitravirya. But Amba said, no, I cannot get married with this Vichitravirya because I am in love with Shalva. Right? So Shalva was one king. I am in love with Shalva. I wanted to get married with Shalva. Why did you kidnap me? So Bhishma said, no problem. You can go to Shalva and get married with him. So Amba went to Shalva. Shalva said, sorry. Amba, sorry. You have been touched by another person. You have been touched by another man. So I cannot marry with you. Now my request is that you should go again back to Hastinapur and get married with Vichitravirya. She said, I cannot get married with Vichitravirya. Right? Then he said, you get married with Bhishma. What can I do? But I cannot marry with you. So she angrily came to Bhishma. Right? She said, Bhishma, get married with me now. Bhishma said, how can I get married with you? I have taken a vow that I won't marry with anyone. Then she said, why did you spoil my life? Because for any woman, right, she generally, whenever she comes into the proper age, she generally thinks of her husband. She wants a happy family. She said, now Shalva is not marrying with me. Now you are not marrying with me. What I will do? And you have spoiled my life. Now I take a vow that I will finish you. Right? And I will kill you. She was very angry, right? And then she went to the Himalayas and then she performed a tapasya, right? And then Shivji appeared before her, and then Shivji gave her boon that be peaceful, you will get power to kill Bhishma. And we will see in the Mahabharata war that how Amba becomes a warrior and then she killed this Bhishma. Right? We all know that Arjuna killed Bhishma, but the major instrument was this Amba. Bhishma was very powerful. And we heard that he was one of the Devatas. So none of the person had the power to kill Bhishma. But when this Amba came and she used some tricks, and because of which the Bhishma was killed. Right? We'll see that in later chapters. Let's go ahead. And then what happened? As soon as he got married, Vichitravirya got married with Ambika and Ambalika. Vichitravirya died without giving birth to any sons or any daughters. Now Satyavati asked Bhishma, please, you become the king because we don't have any king now. Chitrangada has died, Vichitravirya has died, my husband Shantanu has died. You become the king, you rule the kingdom. He said, no, I cannot become the king. I have taken the vow. Now just imagine his father, Shantanu, for whom he had taken the vow. The father had already died, but still this Bhishma was maintaining his vows. जो बोला ना करके दिखाया. You just observe today's world. People do exactly ulta of what they speak. Right? मैं ना तेरे को कल 100 रुपया दूंगा, तू आज मुझे 100 रुपया दे. Right? And then this person will never show you his face. When you give him 100 rupees, he will never show you his face. Because Kali Yuga is what? जो बोलते हैं ना वो कभी नहीं करते. But this Dwapar Yuga and this previous Yuga, they were not like that. People were not cheaters. People are so cheaters nowadays. You just see them, you just observe them. Bhishma said, I cannot do that. Now Satyavati was confused. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Then she remembered she had one more son. His name was Vyasadeva. Right? Now this son, he had got in a boon from one Rishi, Parashar Rishi. Right? So she had this son, Vyas. So she remembered Vyas. So Vyasadeva came and she asked Vyas to get married with this Ambika and Ambalika. So Vyasadeva got married with this Ambika and Ambalika. So in a nutshell, I can show you this whole family tree. First of all, there was Shantanu. Shantanu got married with Ganga. And then here we see a Bhishma. Okay. Then Ganga went away. He got married with Satyavati. Right. From Satyavati, he gave birth to Vichitravirya and the Chitrangada. Right. And here we can see that from Satyavati, he got Vichitravirya and Chitrangada, but Chitrangada was killed. He died. And then remained a Vichitravirya. Right. So Vichitravirya got married with Ambalika and Ambika. Right. But as soon as he got married, he died. So Satyavati asked, hey Bhishma, you become the king. Bhishma said, no, I have taken the vow. So here comes a Vyas in picture. Right. A Vyas comes in the picture. So Vyasa got married with Ambika and then Ambalika. And here you can see in the picture that from Ambalika, he gave birth to a son whose name was Pandu. Right? So Pandu was born. And from Ambika, a son was born whose name was Dhritarashtra, but he was blind man. So these are eyes, and so basically no eyes. So he was blind. Right? So he could not become the king. Who became the king? Pandu became the king. Right? Pandu became the king. Pandu got married with Kunti and then Madri. Right? From Kunti, Pandu gave birth to 3 sons. Their names were Yudhishthir, Bhima, and the Arjuna. Okay, and second wife, Madri, he gave birth Nakula and Sahadeva. Basically, they were twins. Nakula and Sahadeva are like the twins. So Pandu had 5 sons. We call them Pandava. Okay, so they are Pandava. Now you may think that where is the Bhagavad Gita? So we are basically learning the background of Bhagavad Gita. Unless and until you learn the background of Bhagavad Gita, you're not able to relate with the verses. And that's why I'm teaching you the background. Okay. So we'll start Bhagavad Gita. Don't worry. So Dhritarashtra got married with a Gandhari, you can see here. And they gave birth to how many sons? Can tell me somebody tell me in the chat box? Can someone tell me in the chat box that how many sons Dhritarashtra and Gandhari had? 100 sons. My God. Right? 100 sons. And of course, one daughter was there, Dushala. But 100 sons were there. Right? So we will call them as the Kauravas. So Pandavas and the Kauravas. Okay. So now let's study why there was fight in between these Pandavas and the Kauravas. So you saw here that Pandu became the king. Although Dhritarashtra was the elder brother, but Pandu became the king because Dhritarashtra was blind. So the elder son of the Pandu, who was a Yudhishthir, now he was supposed to become the king after the death of the Pandu because Pandu had the premature death. So for temporarily, Dhritarashtra was sitting on the chair of the king, Rajsimhasan. Right? So Dhritarashtra became the temporary king. Now in the minds of a Dhritarashtra, there was a plan to become the permanent king. Dhritarashtra knew if the Yudhishthir becomes little old, I will have to hand over all the kingdom to Yudhishthir. Now he was very attached to the kingdom. Right? You just observe his name, Dhrita Rashtra. Dhrita means very attached, very, very attached. And the Rashtra means nation. He was very attached to his own country. He was very attached to he was very attached to the position of king. He was not giving. He was not, he had no intention to give that seat to Yudhishthir. So he was like a seed of the poisonous tree. So when the seed is poisonous, of course the fruits and the tree will also become a poisonous. So he had the envy in his heart for the Pandavas. And that's why the same envy was carried by the sons of Dhritarashtra in their heart. And day in and day out, the Kauravas, the 100 sons, they would only think how to kill Pandavas, how to kill Pandavas. And they were devising many plans to kill these Pandavas. Right? So once upon a time, they fed poison to Bhima. But of course, Bhima digested. Right? Then these people, they sent Pandavas to Tirth Yatra, to pilgrimage. And in the pilgrimage, this Kauravas told, hey, we have made an amazing palace for you. Go and stay in that palace. So once upon a time when they were sleeping in the palace, this Kaurava, they burned that palace. Right? But somehow by the Krishna's grace, Kunti and the 5 sons of the Kunti, they were protected. Right? Not only that, but they took away the Indraprastha. The kingdom of the Pandavas is called the Indraprastha. So they took the kingdom of Indraprastha. Not only that, they insulted Draupadi. They cheated Pandavas and then they sent them to the 13 years of exile. Can you imagine? So many atrocities Kauravas committed against these Pandavas. But Pandavas were simple people. Right? So when they came back from the exile, they requested Krishna to become a mediator. And they sent Krishna to Kauravas. And Krishna said, my dear Duryodhana, please return your kingdom. Right? Because this kingdom belongs to Yudhishthir Maharaj. What did Duryodhana said? He said, Hat! Just like when the beggar comes in front of you, say, Chal chutta nahi aage. In that manner, he insulted Krishna. Krishna was God, and in front of God, he was using the foul language, bad language. And Duryodhana said, मैं उनको एक सुई की नोक के ऊपर जितनी जमीन होती है ना उतनी भी दूंगा नहीं. That means I'm not gonna give him a small tract of the land. Let them become a beggar. Krishna said they are kshatriyas. They want to rule. At least give them 5 villages. He said no means no. Go from here. So they made many attempts to make the peace, but Duryodhana was highly egoistic and very agnostic. He said, no, there must be a war. Because he was thinking, right? We have so many allied kings. So many kings are fighting from our side. So we will kill these Pandavas and we will become the king. So he had that plan to become the king, So don't be attached to position. Whenever you become attached to something, gone, right? Let's go ahead and see. So if the fighting is bad, then why did Krishna told Arjuna to fight? So fighting is not always bad. It's just like our soldiers are standing on our right line of control and all these things. Right? So they are protecting us. So we need a fight. If we don't fight, just imagine there are no police. What will happen? Thieves, they will loot us. Isn't it? So we need Kshatriyas also. We need fight also. Just imagine you are going with your mother, right? And then some thieves come and they snatch the bag, which is filled with money, right? And they start running. What you will do? You will say, there should not be any fight. Take my money, take my money, take my money. Will you say that? No, you will fight, you will run after them. And if you can find them, then you will beat them, isn't it? So similarly, there was a reason why this war was happening. This amazing was spoken by Shankaracharya. He says, Maline mochanam pumsa jalasnanam dine dine sukrita gita amruta snanam sansara malanashanam. Why to read Gita? Just like we every day take a bath and then we put a lifebuoy, or which soap do you use? A Medimix, right? Hammam. Why do we use soap? To clean ourselves. We take a bath with the water and the soap to clean our body, but what about our mind? In the mind also, there is so much of dirt, right? Envy, jealousy, anger, right? How to clean this dirt? Can we drink sanitizer to clean this dirt? Can we drink phenyl? No. Right? Can we drink soap water to clean our internal body? No. How to clean our internal body? Sukrita Gita Amrita Snanam. When you take a bath with the Gita, your mind gets cleansed. right? So this is my appeal to all of you, that be attentive in all our sessions this 13-14 days, right? And see the change within you, right? Challenge accepted. How many of you will be with me till the 13 or 14 days? 13 days. Okay. So challenge accepted. How many of you are ready to accept the challenge? Let's see. Many are telling here, right? Many are telling here, but let's see, right? Okay. So let's go ahead. Our first chapter. Should I go with the first chapter or should I stop here? Tell me in the chat box. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. So I think that you are not getting bored. 1 minute. Huh? This. Okay. Let's go. So first chapter is Arjuna Vishad Yuga. You know, the gist of this chapter isn't given in the first in the name itself. Arjuna. Arjuna was one of the Pandava, and Vishad means what? Vishad means basically a morose. Vishad means is like in depression. Vishad means a sad or in misery. So we can understand that Arjuna is very sad. Right? Arjuna Vishad Yuga. So Arjuna is very sad. You can see in the picture. Literally, he was crying. Can you imagine a elder man crying? And he was not only the elder man, he was like the prince of the whole kingdom, Hastinapur. And he was crying bitterly. But why was he crying? Let's find out. So the first verse was spoken by, any guesses who spoke the first verse of the Gita? Any guess, wild guess? Any wild guess? Who spoke the first verse of the Gita? Okay. Someone is telling Sanjaya and someone is telling Arjuna. No? Any wild guess? Okay, Nikita, amazing. अभी बचा कौन है? नो 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 कृष्णा जी, नो. अभी बचा कौन है? चार ही तो लोग थे. Okay, super. So Dhritarashtra spoke the first verses. Right? So let's study that first verse. So basically, the war was happening between two parties, and the Dhritarashtra, he was sitting in Hastinapur. He could not take part in the war because he was a blind, right? And he had one minister whose name was the Sanjaya. So Sanjaya was like a television for the Dhritarashtra. So he was asking what is happening on the battlefield of the Kurukshetra. Sanjaya was an amazing person, right? Sanjaya was the disciple of Vyasadeva, and he had the power to see something which is happening a distance away, right? He was like a television, right? So he could see everything, and he was narrating the whole incidences to Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra is asking, Dhritarashtra uvacha dharma kshetre kurukshetre samavita yuyutsavah mamakaha pandavaschaiva kim kurvat Sanjaya. Very simple verse, right? Dhritarashtra uvacha means spoke, right? Dhritarashtra spoke. What did he speak? Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. So Kurukshetra is a place where war was actually happening. Dharma kshetra means place of a pilgrimage. So basically Kurukshetra was a place of a pilgrimage where people go and do some yagya, do some dan, do some tapasya. But here, what was happening? The people had gathered for the fighting. So he is asking, Dhritarashtra is asking, my dear Sanjaya, right? What my sons and the sons of a Pandu, they are doing on this Kurukshetra, right? Give me update. Here, if you read these verses carefully, you will understand that this Dhritarashtra is a very selfish person. Now you may ask why. The selfishness of Dhritarashtra can be seen by the word Mam Kaha Mera. That means mine. What did my sons and Pandu's sons do? Right? मेरे बच्चों ने और पांडु के बच्चों ने क्या किया मुझे बताओ. Right? So here you can understand this selfishness. He just thinking about mera and tera, mera and tera, mera and tera, mere bacche और पांडु के बच्चे. Now if you see the sons of a Pandu, that means the Pandavas, were actually under care of this Dhritarashtra. So in one sense, the Pandavas were the sons of Dhritarashtra also. So he could have said, what did my sons do? He could have asked like that, but he's saying, what did my sons, that means Kauravas and Pandu's sons. So he's not accepting Pandavas as his own sons. Right? He's making the differentiation, Mera and Tera. So please remember, whenever you do Mera and Tera, fight will come up. Right? Whenever you do Mera, Tera, this is mine, that is yours. See, just observe why there are so many militaries and why there are so many wars are going on. Because people think this is mine, that is yours. Why two brothers fight? This is mine, that is yours. Right? Father have given me this to me. Right? That is yours. So that's why there is a fight. Mera, tera, mera, tera. You just observe doggies. Why dogs fight? Dogs fight because they think, hey, why that another dog has come to my area? This is my area. And do you know how they make their area? Right? That's funny thing, but I won't tell. But generally, you know, the dogs make their area. Right? This is my area. If another dog comes to me, I will bark at him. Boo, boo. You must have any other dog comes to that particular area. All the dogs from this area, they will bark at another dog. And that's what happening in the human society also. Right? Why did you enter my zone? Why did you take my thing? Mera, tera, mera, tera. Whenever you think about mera, tera, please remember you will remain miserable. Right? And that's why I feel that the whole world should, you know, study Bhagavad Gita. Right? If everyone studies the Bhagavad Gita, then what will happen? Udar charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. This is the verse from Hitopadesh. It is said that those who do mera tera, they have all third class mentality. They are very narrow minded. Laghu chetasam, mera tera, ye mera hai, wo tera hai. They are very laghu chetasam, very narrow minded. But who are the broad minded? They always think vasudhaiva kutumbakam. Right? Everyone on this planet Earth, they are my brothers and sisters. And just imagine if everyone starts thinking of this, right, like this, what will happen? There won't be any fight. There won't be need of any military. Just imagine so much money will be saved. Every country, they spend, there are billions and billions of dollars on maintaining the army. Just imagine everyone learns this Bhagavad Gita. Everyone will remain peaceful. There won't need any kind of army. Right? Okay, let's go to the second verse. Now Sanjay is reporting. My dear Dhritarashtra, he's telling, Društva tu Pandavanikam Vyudham Duryodhanastada Acharya Upasangamya Raja Vachanam Avrave. So it is written in Hindi. Don't worry, just listen to me. So basically, this Sanjaya is reporting, I can see that Raja, that means Duryodhana, he has gone to Acharya Upasangamya. He approached the Guru, Dronacharya, and he is speaking with the Dronacharya. So Dhritarashtra is asking, what my sons and the sons of the Pandu are doing. So Sanjay is reporting, I can see that Duryodhana is approaching Guru Acharya, Dronacharya. He is reporting, he is speaking with the Dronacharya, and let's see what he is speaking. Paishyetam Panduputranam Acharya Bhati Chamum Vyudham Drupada Tava Shishrena Dhimatam. So he approached his Guru and he said, my dear teacher, Dronacharya, who is telling? Duryodhana is telling. Right. My dear teacher, Dronacharya, can you see that army? Right? Can you see that army? That army has been arranged so properly, so meticulously, so amazingly by your Shishya, your disciple, Drishtadyumna. Right? I was telling you, don't teach him, don't teach him. Now see, he's standing against you. Actually, Dronacharya knew that this Drishtadyumna is going to fight from the side of a Pandavas, but still he taught to this Drishtadyumna, because previously people would not make any differentiation. They would not make any what do you say, bhedbhav. They would teach everyone equally. So here we see that Dronacharya taught all military skills to Drishtadyumna, kind of a tongue twister, right? Drishtadyumna. So he taught this to Drishtadyumna, and Drishtadyumna was standing now against the Dronacharya. That's why he is angry. Why did you teach him? Right? Now he could become a danger to our army. Atrashura Mahishvasa Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratasya Drupadasya Maharatha. He's telling, my dear Guru, just see how many warriors have come there. So I hope you are all noting down, right? Because after the class, you will be getting the question paper, kind of a Google form where you need to submit everything online, right? Simple 10 questions on each chapters, right? So what will happen when you appear for the test? You will be able to revise everything, right? Because unless and until you revise, you forget everything, right? And that's why I urge to all my students that make notes, keep writing something, write something. Otherwise, what will happen? If I ask you the next day, you'll forget. And please remember, I every day ask, right? So before coming tomorrow, please revise today's chapter, right? So he's telling, see, Bhima Arjuna, there I can see there is Bhima, there is Arjuna, and there is Yudha, there is Virata, Drupada. So different kings are mentioned from the Pandavas army. Drishtaketu Chekitana, Kashirajasya Viryavana, Krojit Kunti Bhojasya, Shaibasya Narapungava. I can see Drishtaketu is there. So these are different kings who are basically in alliance with the Pandavas. So first of all, Duryodhana is giving introduction to different kings of the opposite party, and then he will speak about his own party. So first of all, understand how many kings were there. There were many, but prominent kings have been described by Duryodhana. So Duryodhana is saying, I can see Drishtaketu is there, Chekitan is there, I can see Kashiraj is there, Viryaman, powerful. I can see powerful Kashiraj. I can see Purojit, Kunti Bhoj, Shaibya. I can see Yudhamanyu, Vikranta. Now, you not remember all these names, but there is a question that please mention 5 kings from the sides of Pandavas. So you can mention any 5. Yudhamanyu, Vikranta, Uttamauja, Saubhadru, that means the sons of Subhadra, Draupadi, so that means the sons of Draupadi. They are all standing there. Now he is speaking about himself now. Bhavan, you yourself. Right? Bhishmascha, Karnascha, you are there. Bhishma is there. Karna is there. Krupa is there. From our side, who is fighting? You are there. Dronacharya is there. Bhishma is there. Karna is there. Krupacharya is there. Samitinjaya is there. Ashwathama. Extremely sorry. Samitinjaya is not the king, but it's a Visheshan. That means who always become victorious in the battle. Ashwathama is there. Vikarna is there. Somadatti is there. Right? So we also have powerful kings. Not only they don't have the powerful kings. Right? We have the powerful kings. As soon as the Bhishma hears his name, he becomes very elated, and then he blew his conch shell. Right? Before the war, they used to blow the conch shell. Right? And here is the entry of Krishna. Tatha shvetai hayai yuktai mahati sandane stitau madhavah pandavashaiva divyo shankho pradhadmatuhu. And then the Krishna is coming. Shvetai hayai yuktai mahati sandane stitau. A very powerful chariot was there, and the chariot had the 4 white horses, and on those horses was sitting Madhava. The meaning of the Madhava is the husband of goddess of fortune. That means Lakshmi Devi ke Pati Madhav. So please remember, first of all, when the Krishna is addressed in the whole Bhagavad Gita, he is called as a Madhava. Remember this, Madhava. This is one of the questions. Madhava. Now, why Krishna is called here as a Madhava? Krishna has so many names. Can somebody tell me how many names Krishna has? How many names Krishna has? Can someone tell me? Any wild guess? Oh, amazing. Krishna has unlimited names. We have Vishnu Sahasranam. That does not mean that he has only 1000 names. Krishna has unlimited names. It is said Lord Ananta, that means that snake, Ananta snake, Sheshnag, is continuously chanting Krishna's names since time immemorial. So he has many names. So one of the name is Madhava. The meaning of the Madhava is god of the god of fortune. So why Madhava? Krishna is using the word Madhav. I mean, sorry. The Sanjaya using the word Madhav here is that because he wanted to tell Dhritarashtra, Krishna is fighting from the side of Pandavas. And he is a Madhav. The meaning of the Madhav is that he is the husband of Lakshmi. And wherever there is a Lakshmi, there is a victory. So forget about a victory. Your sons won't win the match because they don't have Madhav. What happened? Divyo Shankho Pradadmato. They blew their transcendental conch shell. Panchajanya Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Poundrau Dadmau Mahashankham Bhima Karma Vrukodaraha. So here different names of these conch shells are given. So Krishna blew the conch shell, Panchajanya, right? And then Dhananjay, the Dhananjay is the name of Arjuna. So Arjuna blew the conch shell, Devadattam. Right? So different people using different conch shells. Poundram. Bhima blew the conch shell, Poundra. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha Nakulaha Sahadevasya Sughosha Manipushpakau. Yudhishthira blew the conch shell, Ananta Vijaya. What was the name of Yudhishthira's conch shell? Ananta Vijaya. Nakula Sahadevasya. Nakula blew Sughosh, and Sahadev, he blew Mani Pushpa, right? So 6 people and 6 conch shells are described here. Now what happened when he blew the conch shell? Saghosho dhartarashtranam hridayani vyadarayat asya prithvi shaiva tumulobhyanunadayan. The Kaurava's heart started shattering. They become fearful. As soon as Krishna, as soon as Arjuna, as soon as Bhima, they blew their conch shell. All the Kauravas became, they frightened. They became very frightened. Their hearts were shattered by this voice. I can understand. This is a sign of victory. पहले ही डर गए कौरव, शंख बजाया तब कौरव डर गए. Although, if you see the numbers of warriors who were fighting from the side of Kauravas, they were in a large number as compared to the Pandavas. But still, who became very fearful? Kauravas. Because the number does not matter, values matter. So please don't run after the number. Run after the morality. Right? Morality always wins. Cheaters can never win. So if you're also cheating someone, somehow or the other, stop it. Athavyavasitan drishtan dhatarashtan kapidvaja. Here you can see amazing thing, kapidvaja. One more sign of victory is given. Right. You can see on the top of the Ratha, there is Hanumanji present. And wherever there is Hanumanji, victory has to come. Right. So his flag was there, and on that flag, there was the impression of Hanumanji. Arjuna was, now Arjuna is asking, Senayur Ubhayor Madhi Ratham Sthapaya me Achyuta. Oh Achyuta, get me to the middle of the battlefield. I want to see who has come. Right? Just like whenever question paper comes, you see which questions are there. So basically, prepare your mind. Right? Whenever question paper comes, you don't start writing it immediately. You check the whole question paper. Similarly, Arjuna want to check who all have come. Right? Tatra Pashyanstitan Partha Pitrunatha Pitamahan Acharya Matulu Pratrun Putran Pautran Sakins Tatha Shwashura Suradashaiva Sena Yurubhayor Matina. Arjuna, what did he see? He saw there were many warriors who were like his father. There were many warriors who were like his grandfather. There were many warriors who were like his brothers, right? And many were like his own sons. So he was just thinking, they are all mine. How can I kill them? So from here the confusion starts, and we can see in the second chapter basically slowly the confusion is dispelling. Right? So confusion has now come after entering into the battlefield. Arjuna vacha drashtveman swajanam Krishna yuyutsu. Yuyutsu means fighting. Samupastitam swajanam. Swajan means these people are mine, Krishna. How can I fight with them? They are all mine. We don't fight with our own brothers and own mama and own chacha and own fufa. We don't fight with them. So how Arjuna could? And that's why he's telling, Veputasya sharire me romharsha jayate. My body is trembling. My hairs are standing on the end. Romharsha. The meaning of the Rom Harsha is hairs are standing on the end. When we get surprised or when we become so fearful of something, then our hairs, they stand on the end. Right? So here Arjuna was very fearful. He was not fearful because he wanted to fight. Right? He was never fearful of a fight. But here, why he was fearful? Because how can someone fight with his own kinsman? Gandiva sanskriti hastat takchaiva paridayyati. The bow is slipping from my hand and my skin is burning. Papameva shre dasmat hatvayadatainaha. Right? If I kill these people, papameva, I will become sinful. Right? Sins will come to me. I don't want to kill Krishna. Kulakshaye pranashanti kuladharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo vibhavatyuta. Krishna, right? I can see there are so many warriors have come. There are so many soldiers have come. And if I kill them, right, who will take care of their families? Right? So Arjuna's question was right. Who will take care of their family? If Arjuna kills people, who will take care of their family? That's why he's telling Kulakshay. Right? Their dynasty will get destroyed. Right? उनका कुल आगे कैसे बढ़ेगा? अरे पुरुष ही मर गया तो उसका कुल आगे कैसे बढ़ेगा? कुल का मतलब बच्चे का बच्चा कैसे होगा? घर में कोई है ही नहीं. And I have heard that whenever the caretaker of the family is died, then whole family becomes irreligious. They stop following their dharma. So I don't want to kill these people. Utsanna kula dharmanam manushanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavatitya anushrusham. I have heard that whoever kills and whoever destroys this family tradition, whoever destroys this kula, I have heard that these people, they have to stay narake niyatam vaso, they have to stay in the hell. I don't want to go to hell. That's why I won't kill anyone. Sanjaya uvacha eva mukta jana sankhe rathopasta upavishad visrujya sasharam chapam shukasa vignamanasa. Finally Sanjaya spoke. Dhritarashtra, I can see that Arjuna is now very confused. Arjuna is crying, right? Tears of compassion are coming from his eyes, and I can see that he's sitting. Rathopasta upavishat. Upavishat means apne rath ke upar wo baith gaya. Visrujam sasharam chapam. He gave up his bow and arrow. Shoka savigna manasa. He's crying. Right? So this is first chapter. Right? And I hope that you have understood at least a bit. Right? So we will stop here, and if you have some questions, do ask me. So you just need to raise your hands if you have some questions. Okay, I hope this session was informative to you. If you don't have any question, please tell me in the chat box that you understood. Did you get something? Was this session informative? Okay. How many of you got bored? Tell me. How many of you got bored? Okay, super. No, we are not reciting any shlokas here. So first of all, first sloka you can buy it if you wish. Who fought on the Pandava side? I will provide you the PPT. Who had a question? Tejas. If you have a question, please raise your hand. So, Mohan Kumar. Mohan Kumar, bolo. Prashna पूछो. If you have some question, raise your hand so that you will come in the front. Right. Mohan Kumar, you have a question? Okay, no question. Tejas Apte. Bolo, Tejas Apte.
Sir, my doubt is that अगर सपोज मैंने ऐसा नहीं किया कि ये मेरा है ये तेरा है और अगर कोई मेरा सामान चोरी करके गया तो क्योंकि क्या है कि अगर मैंने कहा नहीं कि ये वस्तु मेरी और वो कहेगा कि अरे ये तो मेरी मुझे देते और वो लेके जाएगा.
And that's why I told na everyone should learn Gita. This thing only happen when everyone learns the Gita. If I only learn the Gita and all others are atheists, I will be in trouble. Then you cannot have this attitude. Okay, and that's why we need a fight. So we are not totally saying that give up fight, give up army. There is a need, right? So until and unless everyone becomes the devotee of Krishna, we cannot give up, these fights and armies. Okay, Tejas, समझा कुछ?
हाँ. Thank you.
Okay, भीमन्ना कोपर जी बोलिए.
You have not touched all the slokas. And,
yeah. So basically, it is like these slokas are repetitive. Same slokas, they are repetitive. Repetitive in the sense they are not same slokas, but the meaning is quite same. Okay, so for that you will get the Bhagavad Gita. So I won't be teaching all the shlokas, right? So only the relevant shlokas, right? And other shlokas you can, of course, I will be providing you book, you can read from that. So I'm not telling that these shlokas are not important. Every single shloka from the Bhagavad Gita is very important. So please go through that too. So I think we should stop here. If you have a question, please ask me. Hare Krishna. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. You'll be getting the recording and the question papers soon. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow on a time. Tomorrow is very important day. Tomorrow's session, tomorrow's chapter is like a Sankhya Yoga is like a summary of whole Gita. Right? It's like a summary of the whole Gita. And its first and second chapters are like the basis of whole Gita. If you miss that, then you won't understand anything. So please come tomorrow. See you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.